Well, we got there in the end. Hopefully, it won't be as late as Spurs transfers this evening. But good evening, good afternoon. It's Harry from Hotspur TV, and I'm here hosting on the preview show for tomorrow's Burnley match. Not a lot of people will be talking about it because the transfer window is going on, but we're still going to do a show about it. Justin's here with me, back again. You right, Justin?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thanks. I'm happy it's Friday, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Eugene, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's 1:09 a.m. in Malaysia, and the countdown is on. We've got about four over hours left before is it 5 over hours? 5
hours.
4 over 5 hours left before the window closes. Let's see what happens. But it seems to be very quiet, right, for all the big teams around. Not much movement around the big teams, but the middle teams, right? Middle level teams are doing business. Like Spurs and all that. We're doing some business.
Middle teams at Tottenham. Okay, TJ, you right, mate?
What are you saying, buddy? How you been?
Yeah, good.
How's my lovely viewers? I'm all right, man. It is what it is. Life.
I mean, we don't want to talk that much about the transfer window now, I don't think, but maybe near the end of the show because
life of being a Spurs fan, you know what is bugging me. Let me be totally real with you. Is the quality of players we are getting linked to. That is what is bugging me. But that's Brennan Johnson. That's another Richarlison, baby. You know the Bet365 and William Hill and all of them, man. They're gonna have 1-to-1 odds, yeah. Who's gonna score the first goal? Trust me. And the odds are gonna get better.
We mean Brennan Johnson and Richarlison, you mean?
Yeah, they're basically the same player. Let me be totally real with you, man. But let me be honest with you, yeah. I'm just disappointed we didn't get Ansu Fati.
Oh dear.
Yeah, man. I'm being real in it. I'm gonna be one of them shameless fans. I'm such a big fan of him, and this is not even me being a flip-flop fan. When we should have just got him. I don't understand what they're playing at. You know what? Even if it's for a loan,
I know, but
it improves the squad.
Yeah.
What is Brennan Johnson gonna do?
No, but we ain't gonna pay the wages. Do you know
I
that?
don't give a.
That's how the deal fell through, TJ.
It always comes down to that. It always comes down to that.
Brighton's doing it.
Brighton said we only want to pay like 60% of his wages or something.
80% of the wages.
Yeah.
Not 60, 80% of wages. And we offered was 20% of his wages. That's why Barcelona ain't gonna push him to us.
But look, let's be totally real here, yeah. No disrespect to Brighton. Yeah, they are better than us right now. But we are meant to be Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. I don't care if Ansu Fati's on 300 million.
Yeah.
30k a week, 300k a week, 400k a week, 500k a week. We're meant to be Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And if Brighton can do it, so can Spurs.
But you look
this
at
wage
Forest,
thing.
I didn't want to talk about the transfer, but you look at Forest, right? I know they sold Brennan Johnson to us, but Brennan signed Sangare for 30 million. They're getting Hudson Odoi, and they're getting that Greek goalkeeper.
Look, you've just said something. You even said Hudson Odoi is better than Brennan Johnson. Honestly, maybe only I see it, but I'm not happy with this transfer window.
No, but DJ, that's what you've been saying. We are Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We are Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. That's what we do, right? Our priorities are all wrong.
It's just not fair, man. It's not fair.
Maybe I'm just
Maybe I'm just one of them typical fans that react to our downfall, but I'm just not happy.
You know what is? I know I'm saying this live on a stream, right? Thankfully, it's not that many people watching right now. But I've gone to the point where whatever happens. I'm just going with the flow, because if I care too much, I'll just get hurt. If I put some faith,
welcome to the club, guys. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, if I have any hope, I know it'll just be destroyed. So even with Ange, I gotta be honest. I'll sit here and say, guys, we should hope for the best, but we all know.
No, that's why. With Ange, right? I've been saying, Ange has brought us hope, but I'm not expecting anything from it. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting anything from it. That's all.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting anything from it. That's all. Ange has brought us hope, but I'm not expecting anything from it. That's all.
In the cup game for me, man, I was fuming after that.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't go.
Bro, for real. When I saw that lineup, I was saying, what is this brother smoking, bruv? What is he actually smoking? Like, I generally looked at the lineup. One of my boys is an Arsenal fan, and he has a bet. He does an accumulator, so he bets on a couple of teams, innit? Yeah. So he asked me as a Tottenham fan, "Are we gonna win?" Yeah. This was before I saw the lineup. Yeah. When I saw the lineup, I said, "Pull out, pull out, pull out. You're gonna lose your money." No, on a serious. I don't care. There's no point of putting them players on the pitch. You made 9 changes. It's suicidal. It's suicidal. I'm sorry. He lined up for suicide.
DJ, there are 2 ways to see that, right? He put that 9 changes in is 1, right? Tinfoil hat on, right? The gun was pointed to his head. Put those 9 players in. The other one is that he's trying to show our owners, right, how shit our squad.
I don't
I'm gonna.
I don't buy
okay,
that. I don't buy that. Sorry, I don't buy that. You know, that's a lame excuse if you're gonna use that excuse. You know, you know why? Sorry, I'm gonna let other people speak. Sorry about
Justin,
that. Yeah,
let Justin speak.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
So if we're talking about the Fulham lineup itself, I mean, we can sit here, and the only thing I would say of what you said there about trying to send a message to the owners, I think we have to, and I'm with Haz on something he said earlier about the fact of that I've reached a point now where with Tottenham, it's almost as if I enjoy myself and we're doing all right, and we have some decent players, it almost feels like the club has taken us back to the 90s.
Yes, Justin.
Klinsmann, Sheringham, and things like that, where there were players there that you sat there and thought, you know what, we might lose this 3-2, but we're going to have a good old go. Because the problem is, and something you mentioned about Tottenham Hotspur should be doing this, should be doing that, right? If that is what you believe Tottenham Hotspur should be doing, you're supporting the wrong club while these owners are in charge. It's as simple as that, because we know and we've seen it. We were told the stadium was a game changer. We were told that the training ground would do this. It would bring all these. We've got world-class facilities to bring everything through, and we're going to be up at the top. And we're not, because what we have done is year after year after year after year is acted in a irrational way, and have almost now gotten to the point where we are like, we've accepted mediocrity. And I'm talking about the owners, because I truly believe from the owner's perspective, it is a case of, if we get top 4, brilliant. If we get it on a budget, that is fantastic. That ticks every single box. And I truly think that Ange has probably looked at, I don't think he threw the game. I think ultimately his eyes would have probably been something along the lines of, I've got these players. Because if you actually break down the lineup that he had, we all know that absolutely those 9 players will not start against Burnley. But the problem that he has got is, I think he had to use it as an opportunity. As much as I don't agree with it, okay, I'm not saying this because I agree with it. Because
when you say an opportunity, what do you mean by that?
So what I mean by that is not for these players to stay at Tottenham. I think it was used as an opportunity to put them in the window, because the problem being is, and again, this is because of how Tottenham acts now, right? These players needed to be shown that they have got minutes, that they're playing and things like that, because the idea being is, and we're seeing it with Davinson Sanchez, Ren have come in with an offer of about 8 million quid and Tottenham have gone, no, we want 12. Right, 4 million quid difference. That is the most ridiculous thing I've heard. It should just be a case of take the 8 million quid, get him out the door. If you're ultimately are turning around with a year left, no one's going to sign him. No one is going to sign him for anything more than possibly 10. Okay. There's talk that PSV Eindhoven are going to come in for him. And I think, if they do 10, we might go and get either Bella Kocha or we might go and get Trevor Chalobah. But the problem
How about Lloyd Kelly?
I don't believe that.
Why
I
we
don't
go
want,
to
I don't
White
want him.
Kelly?
I'm just saying.
No.
this is what
But
I don't-
I'll tell you why that will not happen. Because the
I
problem
hope it doesn't.
being is that one won't happen because all the things that need to fall into place for that one to happen won't happen. Now, do I feel that Tottenham should be looking at Lloyd
Even
Kelly?
Adrian.
No. Do I think they should be looking at Trevor Chalobah? No. Do I think they should be looking at Bella Kotcher? No. But the problem is, and this is exactly coming back to what Has said earlier, this club, what it believes and what it perceives are two different things. It believes it is a top four club. It perceives to be a mid-table club. And ultimately, this is why what we will see is we will never see the star names coming to us. You know, because I agree with what you said. I wanted Ansu Fati because to me, even for a year, I sat there and thought this is a real good opportunity to have a star player there and actually change the mentality back. It almost had that feel of like a Van der Vaart when we signed him. It was like, wow,
It gives us a
can
little
get the
budge.
big
It gives us a little push.
Yes, it does. But this is the problem that Tottenham have created for themselves. Let's not forget, this is all Daniel Levy and Enoch's fault because what they have now got, if you're looking at it, right, and honestly, I've been watching through the window, Eric Dyer comfortable to sit on the last year so he can go abroad. That is not footballers' mentality. That is someone who wants a paycheck to leave, right? He will probably have his contract torn up, I would hope, you know.
No,
You know,
they
you
won't
look-
tear it up. It's too much. It costs too much for them.
You say that, but ultimately, the view of it being is, again, I get what you're saying with that, but if you look at it from, you take Serge Aurier, right? They did it with him, and they could have done the same thing. I truly think he wants to go abroad, so they'll
JJ,
just they'll come with a deal with it.
Serge Aurier threw a hissy fit. Yes, yes,
Hold on a minute. Didn't they say that he called him up or something?
No, if
Adrian.
Serge Aurier throws a hissy fit, right, then of course the club will have to do something, right? Like what you see, it comes back to the scenario like Danny Rose, remember?
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
Danny Rose was put in this situation. So because I think by the time when he had that, okay, I'm going to let you guys know. I even forgot to do it on my own channel. Danny Rose came to Malaysia about 2 weeks ago. I had a meet and greet with him. I did a whole video of it, and I've edited it, and it's been approved by the people who actually organize it, which is our cable provider. So the video of Danny Rose being in Malaysia will be premiering next Tuesday, and they chose the date, right? Next Tuesday on Spurs Vision TV. Come and check it out, Danny Rose. Danny Rose gave us a lot of good insights, and maybe if later in the back room I tell you certain things which I'm not allowed to say on stream live, right? So the things is that what Danny Rose, it's the same thing. Like, will the club treat Dyer like Danny Rose? You get what I'm saying? Okay, you don't want to leave, you exile into the under 23s.
Exile,
right? Yeah, exile, but you still get paid. You get what I'm saying? But you're not gonna play. You're not gonna play first team football, confirm. All right. And like what JJ says, correct. If you are a footballer with
any
actual
aspiration
to play football, right? You will find a way to get out of the club as soon as possible, right? So you can go and play football. But a lot of our players that we've bought, right, are, sorry to say, leech. You know, they'll just stay and suck on it, right? And when the time comes, they'll leave. Right,
but Dyer even says in the reports that he wants to go abroad next summer, so he wants to see out his contract.
The problem also is going to be, because one of the things that will happen, and it was interesting when Postecoglou brought it up in his interview, he made it clear that if these players want to stay, that is fine. He couldn't care less. They will not be given a squad number. They won't be in the 25-man squad, so they will just roll. And what I believe that is, and this is the one thing I do potentially like, is the fact that he is making it very clear, I will give people an opportunity, fine, take the piss, I don't want you. You know, as we saw with Ndombele, and Ndombele will not play for Tottenham. If he wants to say that's fine, he will not play. You know, I don't believe that Ange is somebody who will turn around and will pick somebody because the owners have told him. I do think the others have done it because they're only interested in the pay. So they think, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Whereas I think for him, this means something to Ange Postecoglou. Postecoglou. I think it meant nothing to Mourinho. I think it meant nothing to Conte. And I think they viewed it as, well, it's fine. I will keep these players and I will use them because I don't care. Because if you sack me, it doesn't blemish my record. It means nothing because they will come out, as we've seen, not being funny. Has it blemished Mourinho? No, he's gone and won a trophy. He went to another final. So the fact that it hasn't done anything with him, for Conte, it hasn't done anything. For Postecoglou, I truly think it does mean something to him. And I think he's made it very clear because anyone who says he'll use players if he's told to, I think haven't seen the fact that Eric Dyer hasn't been in the squad for 4 games. If it had been Mourinho, because the interesting thing is, people have always said that Eric Dyer is very reliable. He always gets picked. But Postecoglou has come out and been like, well, because they're idiots. I ain't picking him. And I think what will happen, and this will be on Tottenham, but they will be like, because if we look as well, over the next 2 years, the Deadwood would leave anyway.
Sir, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at that comment.
Wait.
We will listen. By the time I wait, I'll be 95 years old. Yeah,
but the interesting thing is, what's going to happen is in 2 years' time, those players will be gone because Tottenham won't accept a deal. Tottenham will just let them run down their contract. So it'll reach a point where Ange will be like, "Well, who do I play now? I didn't want these players. I've got these. I don't want them. Off." So I think that's where the difference is.
The issue I have with the starting lineup and the argument a lot of people said to me on the FA Cup game was that, he wants to try out certain players. Now, the few players I will name who were on their way out, Sanchez is supposed to be on his way out. Højbjerg's on his way out. Why are these players even playing in the cup games?
One thing I will say to that I'm only literally putting 2 and 2 together to make 5.
I know.
I'm with you.
I just think it's stupid I just think that lineup was stupid. In my opinion, sorry, maybe I just see it as it is.
Yeah.
He should have put the first lineup out because look, we're playing on Saturday and then after 2 weeks we've got 2 weeks break.
Yeah, no, to be fair, it didn't make any sense. As I said, me coming up with me saying the fact that he's putting them in the window, that is honestly not something that I think it makes any sense. It's a stupid thing to do.
He decided to play them, to put them in the window. Their values dropped then. Let me be honest with you. Their values dropped.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But ultimately, I'm looking at it now and part of me sits there now and thinks, what happens now? Because ultimately, do we now just treat this as okay? Well, because we're not going to get top 4. Okay, we're not. I think we'll struggle to get top 6. I don't think we've done as much as we needed to. I think we've made our first 11 stronger. That I agree with, but our bench hasn't been updated. It hasn't. If we stick with what we've got, we are going to struggle with injuries.
Yeah, we will. Our bench has never been upgraded since. When?
Ever.
We never had a second 11 choice to come in, right? But the thing is that if you do have like 16 to 17 first team, proper first teamers, right? Then we could actually do rotation, right, and all that.
But we won't get that.
Right? We never.
Yeah,
we have about.
The problem is the standard of
9 or 10. That's all we have.
No. But what I was gonna about to say, just to add on to your point, we'll never get like people that want to sit on the bench because let's be honest with you, the standard of football is so low. So anybody that initially comes into a club is going to say, I want to start.
I think it'll be interesting when it comes to, because one thing I do like they're doing now is if you look at the loans for the younger players, that's the one thing that I thought they've actually seemed to have got right. Dane Scarlett has now got a championship loan. That I agree with. I know a lot of people saying about Alfie Devine, really poor fail, but ultimately this is somebody who has not played any really sort of competitive level of that. He's played a few friendlies.
Consistent competitive level football,
Yeah, exactly. So that I thought was okay. Troy Parrott going abroad, trying to get some minutes to actually see if he can have a future and what have you. I think when you look at those ones, I think actually that's the bit where you almost have to applaud, but I think more needs to be done. Harvey White needs to get another loan. Noel John. We got Yaya Santiago in there as well. I think we've got the Estonia centre back. He needs a loan. It's got to This is where, when you look at what the top clubs do, is they turn round and they get so much of their youth system out. Because I was looking into the loan rules, because I was wondering if with Tottenham being out of European competitions, if the rules would be different. But the rules are it has to be 7. However, if they are if they've come through your academy or under 21, you can send out as many as you like. And honestly, I don't understand why Tottenham seem to have this ridiculous notion. And to be fair, it is now changing.
Because you know what? I'm just going to add to what you're saying. It's because Levy doesn't understand it. You saw it with Doherty. You're right. He sent him on loan, realized he couldn't loan him out. He had to terminate his contract so he could go elsewhere. So that's the reason why Tottenham doesn't.
That, to be fair, what I would say with that is this is where I don't understand. Well, in terms of that, it was all to do with the fact that they brought in managers that never fitted the system. They just didn't. If you think about it, Nuno, Jose, Antonio, not one would have worked. Not in the slightest. And I remember doing streams with Haz when we got Mourinho and when we got Antonio, and basically said you back them or you sack them because it just won't work. It's as simple as that. You have to give them everything they want. I think with Postecoglou it's different because ultimately to him, I think, because I've heard a lot of people question the fact of Brennan Johnson being a club signing.
I'm one of those people, to be fair.
Well, to be fair, the reason I've not got a problem with Brennan Johnson is because he fits the
system.
He fits the system exactly. Yeah. And I think the difference for him is if you look at it, and okay, it came from the same place, but Jed Spence, right? The problem always with Jed Spence was that he wasn't the signing Conte wanted. He fitted the system, but Conte didn't want him. And that was the problem. Whereas I think with Postecoglou, what he looked at was Brennan Johnson fits the system. Okay, he does. If you look at what ultimately he wants a setup that is similar to Liverpool's. 3 at the top that are interchangeable, that you can just take one off and you can put another in its place. And I think that is what we're going to see going forward. So to me, I look at it and I think this is ultimately now the painful rebuild, but the reason it's dragging is because the owners have got no one to blame but themselves. They've created this mess, and now the players that we have seen, the likes of Eric Dyer, the likes of Højbjerg, the likes of Ndombele, who are quite comfortable to sit and take the money, and that is all down to poor management, whoever was dealing with that side, and now they will be the one that picks up the pieces, because I do believe, and it'll be interesting. I think this is the key part will be when the 25-man squad's announced, because I think that gets announced. Was it tomorrow? Is it, or is it sort of next week? The 25. That will be the key. If Ndombele is in there, or Dyer is in there,
oh dear,
then I take back everything I said, and he's doing it because
if Ndombele and Dyer is
then he'll be like,
you might
this,
as well
right?
just go back to Stone.
Sanchez, I think, will be in there because of the
Sanchez,
he's the best of the bad bunch. Let's be brutally honest. He's better than Dyer.
Well, Taganga's gone out on loan to Germany, so he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, is that confirmed? Is that actually confirmed?
Yeah,
you know what's really sad? Like Reguilon went to United. Like, why can't we get something on Reguilon?
Look, let me be honest with you. That's going to be a big. You know what? I wish he never went to Man United, because I generally think that's going to be a big miss. No, when I say big miss, look, I'm going to put my hands up. He might not be the top end left back, but he provides options. I don't want to see Sessegnon. Sessegnon's the person that has to go. So the next person after Adoji, it has to be Reguilon.
No.
The only reason I say
otherwise. The only reason I'll say otherwise is because of the fact of if you look at you've got to really sort of look at the situation. Personally, one thing I will say is I don't really want Sessegnon because I just don't think it's worked. I think he's too injury prone. He hasn't been good enough. But personally, I don't think he's a left back. I think like Perisic, he's a left winger. But when you actually look at the situation with Reguilon and you look at where Tottenham are and what they're trying to do, he just doesn't suit it anymore. I mean, as I said, he's played in friendlies and he's been appalling. He has. I mean, I was absolutely stunned when United took him off the books.
I know, I do get that, but with what we have right now, he's the best of the bunch.
I'd rather have Ben Davies because if you are reaching, look,
I have to disagree with that, man. Sorry.
Let's be crystal clear with this. It is choosing which one of my testicles do I want to be kicked in, right? But, okay, I'm not going to come on as part of the Ben Davies Appreciation Society to tell you how wonderful he is. I ain't doing that in the slightest.
Let them clip what you just said there.
Yeah.
Let them clip that. It's going to come back around and bite you on your ass, isn't it?
Let's put it this way. But to be fair, you've got to remember where we're at now. We're not arguing over a first choice here. We're arguing over a second, potentially third choice.
Yeah.
Let's be clear about that. I think that's the bit we've got to remember is ultimately we know that if everyone's fit, the back five is Vicario, Van de Ven, Romero, Porro, and Udogie. That is it. That is our back five. The rest, we're just talking about who at 2 o'clock in the morning are we desperate to take home because we're too pissed and
basically
actually decent quality. Let's be realistic. That's where we're at.
Let me be real. Yeah, you know what?
To tell the truth, right? We should have gotten rid of Ben Davies, Reguilon, Sessegnon, right? Actually, bring in two more backs.
Agreed. But we know Levy's not going to do that. Though that's the problem. We know Levy's not going to do that.
And guys, remember, we extended Davis's contract last season for another 3 more years.
But
that blew my mind.
At that point, why? You think about it, Reguilon would probably have gone by that point. You think Sessegnon would probably have gone by that point. You think Sanchez will go by that point. Dyer would have gone by that point.
We hope so.
4 players. They'll have no choice. They will have no choice in the end.
But then, is Davies the only one going to stay out of Sanchez, Davies, Dyer,
wait. Davies staying for his testimonial, right? Dyer is going to be. No, he's going to stay in the ground, as in when he's dead, he's going to be buried on the ground, right? His ashes going to be scattered on it.
That's what he wants, anyway.
That's what he wants, anyway, right? Sanchez, to tell the truth, right? In this system, if he's not played as with the shit that he was with when he was around with Fulham, right? He does have certain potential because he second
fiddle. I don't really care. Yeah, he's better than Dyer, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't really care if he's second.
Fulham, but the problem the day when he was playing with Fulham, right? He was paired with VDV with Davies on.
The thing is, though, the one thing I would say is,
and Davies was captain.
If we can get Sanchez out the door, ultimately Tottenham will bring somebody else in, okay? Because clearly, as we saw with Willian,
but then look. Can I just push you there with what you've just said? If we get Sanchez out, we already need 2 bloody centre backs. When we sold Van Dijk, we never had Van Dijk. Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, we needed 2 centre backs. Now we're saying we need to get Dyer and Sanchez out.
As I said, the problem being is that I think the issue that we've got, Dyer ain't going. He's made it perfectly clear he's happy to sit.
But he's not even going to play, though.
So doesn't matter.
He's going to be the lineman, man.
That is ultimately the saddest part. 29 years old, has an opportunity to play the Euros, and has chosen not to.
Imagine what his documentary is going to be like. Rotting on the bench.
Just imagine, right? If we do get, before the January window comes along, right? Just imagine if we sell Sanchez, okay? If Romero goes off for this international, remember, the international break, right, usually breaks Spurs. Romero goes out for his international break, gets injured, all right? And somehow another VDV is not 100%. He goes off to Holland and gets injured. And we come back September 16 with no back 4.
This is why he was stand poorly.
Will Ange still not play Dyer, but bring in the youth? That's my question.
That's another thing. I was actually going to say this. Why haven't we started bringing the youth into our setup?
I think that I think this is where, again, I think it will all take into account, because we're all talking about if, buts, and maybes. I think the clearest indication of what happens next will be when the Premier League team gets announced, because there's nothing else. You don't have a special squad for the FA Cup. If Dyer is not in that 25-man squad, which I don't believe he will, I really don't. I think it's maybe made very clear to him, you can stay. But if you choose to stay, you can go. The only thing I don't know is the Premier. The only thing I'm not sure of, will he count because he's homegrown? Because you obviously
he's not homegrown. He's not homegrown.
No.
He's homegrown.
That was UEFA's rules. UEFA's rules.
Oh,
he
the
didn't
English
count as
is right. He is
homegrown.
homegrown.
But in the Premier League,
Is he homegrown?
Yeah.
Yes.
Premier League
Who
is
we
homegrown.
talking about? Dyer.
Dyer.
Yeah.
I thought
Yo,
it
bro,
wasn't
that guy. I don't know if he's homegrown, man.
That was the problem with the Champions League, because it was the same problem with Ben Davies, because Ben Davies didn't count in the Champions League, but he counted in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You know, because Brennan Johnson will count in the Premier League, but
he does count as homegrown, doesn't he?
Yeah. So that's where the issue lies.
Is that like one of Lloyd Kelly as well? Is that why, Justin?
To be honest, if you look at let's put it this way, look at the names who are being linked with.
Gallagher.
People have said, and I understood it when they said about, well, why aren't we going for Bakayoko in terms of from PSV? Not homegrown. Okay, I think Tottenham would have probably explored it if he was homegrown, because they're similar players. You know, you look at the defenders and things like that. You look at who's replacing Højbjerg. It's not going to be, because I've heard people turn around and say about getting Paulinho. Well, that won't happen because the fact he's not homegrown. Conor Gallagher's homegrown. Trevor Chalobah is homegrown. The problem that Tottenham have, if you look at the situation, Harry Kane has gone. Didn't matter how good he was, but he was homegrown. And this is a lot of the problem that Tottenham have got now, because if you look at a lot of the players they have and they've been trying to get out the door, it restricts that. I mean, people have said about Japhet Tanganga going, you know, got to get him out the door, but he's homegrown. So that's a spot that we have lost by doing it. But we had no choice. We had to get homegrown
if it was him and Dyer.
All these homegrown players seem like they're shit, man.
What you're saying, that he had a choice, but Dyer doesn't want to go. Dyer wants to sit there, take his money, and ride off into the sunset. That is what he will do. And so when you look at it from that perspective, Tottenham had to make a decision. Do they take the money for Tanganga, or do they just hold on to both of them? They had no choice, you know, in terms of that. I do get the frustration around Dyer. And don't get me wrong, it is 1,000% the owner's fault for that, because they have put themselves into this position. And Dyer wants to happily take that. The problem now is, as I said, you look at it, Chalobah, Gallagher, you look at all the players we're being linked with, homegrown. That is where we are at.
That's
true, though. Anything to lie.
Earlier in my show, right, I was counting the homegrown players we have now. Okay, we take into account, right, Ben Davies, Ryan Sessegnon, right?
They're stinking up the place, man. They're all shit, man.
Okay, Ben Davies, Ryan Sessegnon, you got
bro, that's a poo that is stinking. We just need to get all them dead players out, man.
We can't meet that 8 homegrown players in that 25 squad unless we add Dyer in there. I've been trying to calculate.
To be fair, I'm surprised we haven't. Seriously, I'm not being serious, actually. I'm surprised the club haven't considered Mason Greenwood because he's homegrown. You know, that's how ridiculous.
Oh, no. Please don't bring it up, because
Mason Greenwood.
I was watching on the show the other day.
That would be a 30 signing, you know.
No way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, but for I wouldn't want him. Yeah, I wouldn't want him personally, but that would be a 6 signing. Don't get me wrong.
It would be absolutely
a PR disaster.
He scores 3 goals. I forget about it.
Yeah, to be fair, right? If you talk about football, yes, but
morality, no chance.
Around it, you can't touch him with a 10-foot barge.
I actually think Levy will get more trouble signing him than actually not signing him.
But I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think we should go for him, but
considered it because he's homegrown.
Yeah, you can't touch him.
You know, but that's where we're at. You know, this is where we're at, because we won't. You were mentioning there about why don't we bring our youth players through? Because we've reached such a point with our youth players where they've not had the experience. If you look at it, if you take Harry Kane, how many loans did he have before he came as world class as he was? Why have we turned around and held on to these players for so long to not give them any
I think it was
experience?
Because there's no plan.
wasn't it? Because Poch
Yeah,
didn't
no
want to go
plan.
out on loan. didn't
No,
he
you
say
know
that?
what? I
It
think
was
there's no
over.
plan. There's no plan in
There is
place.
no plan.
Do you
It's
know
that
how? Do you
because
know how many clubs, right? Harry Kane had to go out on loan, right, before
Yeah.
he actually was
Well, it's
joined.
7 or
first
something
team.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind, if you watch Tim Sherwood, he did an interview with Simon Jordan. They
Yeah.
accepted an offer, I think it was from Norwich for £650,000.
And
And,
they-
he went,
luckily
no, he's starting next week. No,
Yeah.
he's not. Yes,
Luckily,
he is.
Sherwood didn't sell him to Norwich or something
Yeah.
like that.
He insisted
right?
to keep him, didn't he?
He
Yeah.
did insist. And
yeah.
this is the problem that we've got. And, you know, if you look at our youth system and you look at how we're now tearing it up in, the new Premier League, these players now need to understand, and it needs to come through, that if we want to stop having players just taking the piss and, you know, sitting on the bench doing absolutely nothing, that we turn around and go, right, that's fine. But we've got a kid over here who's young, hungry, wants to play.
Yeah.
I don't care if he turns around, loses the ball 3 or 4 times. I'm not relying on someone who's failed me 100 times. I'm going to rely on somebody who's maybe going to fail me once, you know, because he'll then learn, he'll then understand. And one of the things they were saying, if you listen to what they were talking about between Conte and Mourinho, you know, to the youth system, I think it was Conte used to use the young players just as almost like sticks. Just used to get the players to stand there and do nothing, because he would use them to help the main team. That was all he was interested in. I think Ange will now realise, if I want to get the star players through, the club aren't going to buy them, so I need to develop them. And I think that's potentially why we're going to have to now extend.
But that's a good plan. There's a setup there.
Yeah,
No,
but this is where the difference comes. You've actually got a manager who wants to do it.
Yeah. If you have a manager who wants to do it, that will give chance for, you know, the youth to come up. You have a manager who doesn't believe in the youth, right?
You won't use
Then it will never be used. That's all. But that's it. We always do this, right? Our potential players, you know, like there was one of them. Was it Dylan McCandai?
Yeah.
We had to sell him. No, he did not say we had to sell him.
He
didn't want to extend his contract.
How about Madueke? He went to Chelsea.
Madueke.
Yeah, no, but you see, like as youth players,
done better because they realised the
There's
pathway was terrible.
there's no pathway to the first team.
There's no
this is the reason.
It's not just that there's no like structure in the sense of like there's no planning. There's no.
How long have I known you for?
It's like a year now, probably.
A year now.
Yeah.
And how many times have I told you there's no plan in place? We're freestyling. You know, we're trying to be a big team when really and truly we're not a big team. You need to get the basics right. You if your youth are not flourishing, then there's something wrong. Because if you even look at, I think
it will change.
If you even look at, like, let's just like shift the topic a bit. If you look at all the top teams, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City as well, they all produce youth.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, we've seen the likes of players like, I'm just going to name a few players: Saka, Curtis Jones, Reece James,
Foden.
Palmer has gone to
Palmer, Greenwood.
Yeah, but if you bring it even closer to that, the perfect example of it is Man City. Man City have just sold Cole Palmer for £45 million. He's only played a few games. Honestly, what I've never understood is how Daniel Levy, bearing in mind how much of a businessman he is, he hasn't sat there and thought, hang on a minute, I could turn my youth into a massive cash cow. I could get my managers to bring them through, flog them on, get Alter, and just keep doing it, and just keep doing it. I've never understood.
But see, he's not a football-minded guy.
What Daniel Levy does, right? He does use that youth academy, right, to flog them off. But the problem is that he doesn't develop them enough. No, he does.
They're like sheep.
Well, I think it's something else. I hope he doesn't do that.
TJ, how do you think we got our stadium built?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's true.
No, that's how. But the problem is that he doesn't see it far enough, right? If you develop them to a different level, right? Instead of selling them for £5-10 million, right? Or 3 to 5 to 10 million pounds, right? you could actually sell them for 20, 30, 40 million pounds. You get what I'm saying? But what I'm seeing this season, right? This level of 20, 30 million pounds players, right, have actually become the 40, 50 million pound players.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you can't argue why Brendan Johnson is worth nearly 50 million. Why
He's
Connor-
not even worth
Is it the
30.
homegrown tax?
No, but he's
Homegrown
the
tax,
he's
Premier
the
League and
player
homegrown
between
tax.
20 to 30 million. But the problem is, even if you talk homegrown, but now because of what Chelsea did, right, they pushed that figure 20 million up. You get what I'm saying? So now, okay, I ask you, Chelsea paid 58 million pounds, right, for Lavia.
But
You get-
then Chelsea are in their own bracket. I mean, they spent
No,
a
I mean,
billion quid in
but-
4
but-
windows.
I mean, they
JJ,
spent 115 on Caicedo.
but you spoil the transfer market value. Yes,
And
everybody
it
has
leaves,
to pay for it.
and
now
it
it's
leaves
even more
teams
so.
like
all I
Tottenham
would say is
struggling.
that Chelsea
And
have
now-
got to get it right, because if they
Yeah.
fail, that
If
is
they-
going
yeah,
to
they're
be.
gonna crash
You're going to
and
see
burn.
the vultures fly
Yeah,
in.
they're going to crash and burn big time. But now you'll see the other part coming out. When Chelsea is doing this, now Saudi Arabia is going to start doing this.
Salah. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the next bid coming for Salah is going to reach
200 million.
Yeah.
200 million.
Yeah, sources have said it's getting close to
Before I came
200.
on this channel, I was doing my own show, right? I asked the panel, right, and the guys, right, will Liverpool sell Salah for 200 million? And I think yes. Even with Klopp saying no, he won't sell, right? The owners will take it, right? That's what I'm saying, right? But my question will come to it comes down to this, right? At least Liverpool now has been put in a position not as bad as, at least now we see Spurs wasn't as bad with Harry Kane, right? At least we got to sell him to Bayern Munich before the season start. Now Liverpool is pushed into the corner, right? 4 hours before the window closes. What's going to happen?
Also, Saudi windows open till next Thursday. You can still bid for
Aye,
it.
what?
Yeah.
Do you want me
but
to pick?
that
Do
needs
you
to
want
be-
me?
the problem is, if it doesn't get done today, it would need to be 300.
What do you want me to make a wild claim? A very wild claim. If Saad, and remember, this is TJ.
Yeah.
I'm not no ITK,
Yeah.
but this is my. Someone said this to me, and I thought, you know what? I could see that happen. If Salah goes Saudi,
Hey guys, breaking
Yeah.
news. Kellen Hudson-Odoi has been announced going to Forest.
oh yeah,
Confirmed.
that's a good signing for them. To be totally honest,
I think Forest
But
does
what-
good business. this
But what I was just going to say, if Saudi, if Salah goes to Saudi, I could see Liverpool going for Son.
Maybe.
I could see it happening.
All right.
The likelihood of Liverpool putting in a bid of 150 million, I could see it happening.
A Nunes
I could
swap.
see-
I love a Nunes swap.
I could see Levy saying, "Okay, go for it."
Go on, give us Darwin, and he can have Son.
It might be far fetched. It might be far fetched, but
you'd be talking about 100
You know what?
million to get
TJ's
Son.
got
I
a
could
good
see that
point though,
happening.
because Klopp really likes Son. Like he really likes.
Yeah.
no,
does,
I could
but
see it happening.
I personally, I think if I was, if it was to go through, if he was to sell Salah, the only way that they will, the only way to happen is if they can get that Mawani from Frankfurt, or
Is he
you know,
going
they
PSG?
go and get
Mawani?
FTK or someone like
No,
that.
I
That's
was-
the only way that
no, the thing is
happens.
that I don't understand why it's done so late. If this deal, right, of 200 million pounds, right, was done 1 week earlier, I tell you, Liverpool would have sold him, right? They were taking a 200 million pound,
And they
right? Go
would've
to
got-
Napoli,
yeah.
go to Napoli, get Osimhen, right, and get that what
Yeah.
that
I could see
Cavaglia
him
guy.
turning around and throwing the
Yeah.
money at Napoli to get Osman.
Yeah.
The only problem is,
But the problem is it's too late now.
He's on your contract.
their,
didn't he,
their
Osimhen,
window
as well?
finishes in 7 minutes or 8
Yeah,
minutes,
it's
so
too late.
it
Oh,
won't happen.
unless
You know, unless they
because
put the
he's-
money straight for Osman.
he's the one I wanted, but he's gone PSG.
Yeah, he wants to go to
PSG all
PSG.
bound.
Yeah.
The only way that happens, I could see him going to Liverpool. That's the only place he'll go to. He won't go anywhere else.
Unless there's some kind of magic that happens, right? They take 200 million pounds from Salah, throw 150 million at PSG for Mbappe. That's all.
No,
That
but I don't
would be
see
so
that happen.
out of the blue.
But that is a good idea. But I don't think they're selling Mbappe for 150.
I think
Go to
200 plus, don't they?
It has to be 200 plus.
Then give
Because
all
he's a lot younger
200
than
to-
Salah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give all 200 million to PSG for Mbappe, right? Because and
I mean,
that will
look
piss
what
off.
interesting.
And
And then
will
if
piss off Real Madrid.
if that happens, yeah, I will announce myself as a Liverpool fan.
Anyway, guys,
No,
no.
for the game tomorrow, yeah, like, do you want to do anything with the front three? TJ, do you want to change the front three at all?
Brennan Johnson.
You know,
can't play.
no.
He's not registered in time.
Are we going to see
He's
Son?
No, you know what? I
Richarlison
think it's just the same lineup.
Yeah,
Richarlison, Son, Cooley.
He has to be honest, he has to go for the same team that started at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's very clear that he has to get back to what he did that was successful, that worked, knowing full well, especially as we haven't got a game for 2 weeks, he has to go.
Yeah.
The only reason I bring this
Guys,
up is because Perisic and Richarlison linked up really well, I thought.
Yeah.
in the
No,
midweek.
but guys, do you think, right, will he switch Son to the middle and keep Richarlison on the left? Or maybe change it with Perisic?
I don't
No,
know,
if
he
he's
scored
going to
that goal,
switch,
could he now be
no, but if he's going to switch Richarlison to the left,
He scored that goal with 10 men Fulham, right? One guy ran off to get his boost.
I'm clutching at straws here. I didn't
Yeah.
say
no.
it.
But what I was just about to say, if he's going to switch the lineup, I wouldn't see him moving Son in the middle. Oh, well, I would see him moving Son in the middle, but then we playing with Perisic on the left.
But I don't see the point of playing Perisic if you have no height. Like, he's just going to put balls in and someone's going to miss every header.
I just don't think we need to just start the same lineup.
That's why I was speaking with
playing
Eugene,
from
saying
the
maybe
get
try
go.
Son on the right. Maybe try Son on the right.
Any
Perisic
news
on the
on
left and
VDV?
Richarlison in the middle. I know it's very unorthodox, but maybe try something like that.
To be honest, it worked well against Bournemouth. I think it's got to be the same. It really.
My question: any
dynamics
injury
of the
news on?
team.
There's no injury news on VDV, right? He's okay, right?
No, he's fine.
All right.
What players are you scared of from Burnley?
I think, to be honest, it will be more
Justin.
interesting about how they play. Okay,
I'm scared of company, bruv.
Yeah,
That scares me.
I'm not scared of any play. I'm scared of company.
Yeah, man.
If you look at how they play, it's a very attacking style. So it will just be interesting to see how they set up, how they attack the game. Because if you watched, I sort of watched the highlights against Aston Villa. They went for the game, but they got picked off, and it will just be very interesting to see where they sort of go from there. Because if I'm just having a look back through the stats now, they have more possession, so they like to have the ball and things like that. But obviously Villa just picked them off, and it will be interesting to see whether he chooses to have us on the front foot or almost lets Burnley come on to then pick them off. Because I think the one thing I've noticed with Burnley is their style. They're trying to keep the similar style to what they want to do, in terms of how they played in the Championship, which is great, but you need the players to do that. So I'm hoping that he potentially sticks with it and that we just pick them off. I think, that's what we'll see.
If you go by that, right, JJ, it's going to be quite an exciting game because we will one possession, we will play the high line, they will one possession, they will play the high line. So nobody will be in defense.
The
Who
only
signed this summer? Does anyone know?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm not too knowledgeable about Burnley, but the only wild card that I would actually say that might pan out in it, and you guys are gonna disagree with
Nathan
me.
Redmond, I think he plays for.
Yeah, Nathan Redmond.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys might disagree with me, but I think Papa Bakassar might not start. I think we're gonna go with Oliver Skip.
I know.
The only reason why I'm saying that is Burnley play a really attacking style, and I don't know, maybe it's just me being a bit.
To be honest,
scared.
Skip didn't do a lot against Fulham. He didn't really impress.
I know, but defensively, he's actually stronger suited.
That Sander Birch was at
Papa
Sheffield United. He's gone to Burnley.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
But
they have made some decent players.
But it depends, right? You could be right, TJ, but maybe he might not start, but he will surely come on somewhere along the game, right? As I see it, right? But
no. Listen, bro, Daryl. I definitely agree. Papa Sarr's ahead of Skip.
Yeah.
On 10 different levels. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm just saying maybe a wild card, maybe. And wants to play a bit defensive.
My biggest worry is what? I really worry, right? If Udoji gets injured, right? and we have to play Ben Davis on that.
This
left
is
side.
this is
Tell
why
me about
this is
it,
why I
bro.
want
That's
to
why
run-
I'm saying.
ultimately,
That's my
That's why I
nightmare.
said Reguilon going to Man
yeah.
United was the
Yeah.
worst decision of all of mankind. And I'm gonna even though listen, look, we all know that we might our first starter is in doggy. Teach me how to doggy, innit? That's what I call him.
Yeah.
innit? Yeah. But we don't have no backups. You know, at least on the right side, we have Pedro Porro and Emerson Royale. It's Ben Davis.
this is where the club's left us at, isn't it?
It's Ben Davis. And I guarantee you, he's the first person to get struck down with an injury. I just see it happening. We've already seen glimmers
Did he
of
have a
him
knock?
becoming
Did he
it.
have a
Yeah, that's
knock?
what I'm saying. We've already seen him go down when we're thinking, oh, he's injured. But I could just see our season falling apart when he gets injured. Basuma and Teach Me How to Doggy, if them two go down, we are screwed.
I don't think it's just them, to be honest. I think if Maddison goes, and what I'd say, I think we're at such
What's-
a point where
What's the
that's-
likelihood of us
anyone
playing
goes-
Perisic at the back? In the sense of playing Perisic on the left back role.
But Perisic
Could
can't
do.
defend, bro.
I don't
I
think any
know.
of the others can either.
Yeah, I know.
It's
But
like no
what's
one
the
can
likelihood
defend.
that we use him as a second choice? Because
Oh, he might
really and
play
truly,
Emerson there.
off
He
in
might
his
play
off
Emerson
in
there.
Emerson and Pedro Porro.
But the problem is that Ange don't play the left back as a full out running up winger. He plays the inverted, the inverted fullbacks. You know what I'm saying? So, will Perisic be able to do the inverted fullback role? That's my question.
Probably not.
Yeah. Right. And that's the thing now, see, on our right side, right, we've got a choice between Porro and Emerson. You get what I'm saying? And Porro has shown that he's a bit better than Emerson, right? But
Mhm.
the problem is that if one of them get injured, or if Porro gets injured, are we stuck with Emerson?
You see, also now, people are gonna think I'm drunk in it for saying this, but sending Spence on loan has kind of screwed us as well. Because
Homegrown,
look, people are gonna think I'm drunk why I'm saying this, but we just don't have no options just in case these players get injured. And I know he plays on the right side.
He'd still be like third or fourth or fifth choice.
Yeah,
He wouldn't play him.
I'm far fetching. I don't know how this left side's gonna look. I'm trying to figure out ways to fix this left side.
Yeah.
You know, right now
Sessegnon's
it's
still
all
injured, so we can't say him.
Sessegnon is made out of clay, bruv. He's always injured.
No, he's not
He's
made
got
of
brittle
paper.
bones.
He's made of paper.
So
You
are
know,
we expecting
so-
the same team as last week
Yeah,
then?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same.
Yeah,
same
no, I'm
11.
expecting the same team minute, but
Yeah, first 11, same first 11.
who knows? I'm just
Bournemouth.
disappointed I'm just disappointed in our window. Let me be totally real with you, man.
Mhm.
Just like
The
every
window
year.
has been
Yeah.
this window has actually been shocking. If you look at the quality of players we have gone for, look, we got Van der Vaart, yeah. He was our second choice centre back because
But at least he's
originally
becoming a bit okay, good.
every
I think
yeah
it was Ange's first choice though, to be honest.
let's be totally real. We all wanted Tapsoba. Am I wrong? We were in for Tapsoba first.
I wanted the one that I personally I didn't really know much of either, so I only wanted the one that Ange wanted at that point.
I think that was
And to
Van
be
der
fair,
Ven.
he's worked quite well.
No,
From what I
no,
understand, he wanted Van der
we were
Ven.
in for Tapsoba first. Tapsoba
but
was our main guy.
Club wanted Tapso, but Ange wanted Van der Ven. That was the difference.
Okay, cool. Yeah, put my hands up. Maybe I'm wrong in it. Yeah, cool. We were in for Raya. We didn't get Raya.
That's one I definitely agree with.
Yeah.
That
we
one I
didn't get
agree
Raya.
with, but the problem is that with that one, the only thing I would say is that Brentford screwed themselves really of that, because Tottenham rightly weren't going to wait around like they have done. They needed a number one, and you look at the deal that Arsenal have got. Arsenal could wait that long. They had Ramsdale. We would have been left with Forster and Lloris, and we would have been happy of getting to this point. We're still Forster and Lloris as our goalkeepers, no chance. So, and to be fair, Vicario hasn't started too badly. So,
Yeah.
I think maybe we have to sort of accept it on that front.
Yeah, no. Look, I am accepting it. I'm not questioning it. But if you look at all our signings, it's been second fiddles. That's my point.
There have been, but they've worked, most of them.
I think
We're running
Vicario
out.
is
Better than what we-
still a bit. I'm still, you know.
We'll have to wait and see on that one. But, you know, I think as I say,
Madison, though, I
Madison
think
was the best
a brilliant
signing, but
signing.
we've been stalking him. I think I say this every single week.
Yeah.
I must be I must be a parrot. We've been stalking him for so long, for 5.5 years or 6 years. I remember when we were linked to him. This was when we had Ericsson, and Dele Alli was just about to come up in it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we needed another cover for Ericsson, and the perfect person was Madison. You know,
Was he at Norwich?
But
I think
he was at Norwich at the time. You know.
Okay.
But we didn't want to pay. I think it was something like 15 million. At the time, it was something like 15 million, and we deemed that as too expensive.
Yep, but that's Spurs for you.
Yeah.
Spurs
Maybe I'm
team.
wrong with the transfer fee, but I know it was on the lines of
it was
15
something
to
like
20 or something like that. You know, but we deemed that as too expensive. So Madison, yeah, he's come to Tottenham. Good signing. I'm not complaining about that. You know, it's just. I feel like this window has been flip-flop, and we haven't targeted all the people that we really wanted. We've sold Kane. We haven't got a replacement. Yeah.
No.
Okay,
I
what-
think, to be fair, we're just going to have to see how the season peaks out, really.
What-
But in terms of predictions, I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll probably be a 2-2 draw.
2-2. Okay.
I'll
To
go
who?
2-2.
To Burnley. No.
For me,
We're-
I'm
Score prediction. Yeah. Eugene.
score prediction. I'm going to say we're going to win 0-2.
Again. All right. Okay.
Yeah. I said 0-2. Remember the last?
Yeah.
In Bournemouth?
TJ.
Yeah. I'm predicting 2-1 Tottenham.
Okay. I'm going 1-1.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with Justin. I think it's going to be a draw.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
Yeah. I'm going to have to stream it because it's 3 o'clock as well. So.
No, you know what? Let me be totally real. You know, if is it over there?
Yeah.
That could be a fortress, you know, for them. But no, 2-1. I'm sticking with it. 2-1. I can't see us. I can't see us dropping points after we crashed out of our cup tie. You know.
That's going to come
So
back and bite you on the backside.
Yeah. On Saturday night.
No, you know, I just hope we perform, because they, especially with this shit window, you know, we're not getting no one in through the door. Let's be totally real. It's Johnson, maybe, yeah. But other than that, let's be totally real. Nobody else is coming in.
You don't really want Lloyd Kelly.
Lloyd Kenny.
Honestly, that was the most random name I ever heard last night when I saw it.
Yeah, that's right. Who was that, right? Then it said some Bournemouth defender or something like that.
But,
So I was going,
but
really?
the Bournemouth defender that plays next to him is better than him.
Who-
And all the Bournemouth fans that say that I've seen on Twitter, maybe X or whatever you want to call it, X Factor, yeah.
X Factor.
All of them guys on X
Yeah.
have said they want him out. If Bournemouth are trying to ship their players, why are we going for them?
That's Tottenham.
Welcome to Spurs. Yeah.
Why are we going for them?
Because
Surely there are better players or better options than Lloyd, Kenny.
But TJ, we're like a day before the end of the window, so
We should have had a plan from the start. In my opinion, we should have had Van der Ven and Tapsoba.
Yeah. And here we are with Dyer and Sanchez. I'm gonna have to shoot on that bombshell because I need
That's
to go
all right.
and cry after realising what I've just said.
Justin,
But-
are you back tomorrow evening with us?
Yes,
All right.
I'll be able to jump on for a bit there,
Yeah, I'll see
and
you tomorrow then.
hopefully on the back of a win, and you and I being wrong, but
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and see on that one. But
Nice
take
to meet
care
you,
of
buddy,
yourself,
man.
guys.
All right,
All the
JJ.
best,
Nice to
all
meet you,
right?
by the way.
Bye.
Nice to meet
See you later.
See you soon.
Bye.
All right.
Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
Nah, man, we are getting bummed like yeah, we're such a shit team, man. We're getting bummed from left, right, and
but
center, man.
right? No matter how shit we are at the moment, right? We have performed against Brentford. Okay, that was our first game. We have come good against Manchester United, right? The Ange ball is there, but the problem is that for us Spurs fans at the moment, we fear the future because we can see the future. Because when we played Fulham, it was shit.
Yeah, man.
So that's being a Spurs fan at the moment. And we've been hoping, right? To tell the truth, I've been saying we need another centre back, we need another right back, we need another holding midfielder, and we need another striker. If we can fill up these 4 positions, right, that will give us a proper
improvement,
or a proper 15 to 16 players, right, for Ange to actually have a chance to win something and rotate. But at the moment now, we're Spurs, we won't do that, right? We're gonna give Ange, right? I think since he's 57 years old, he'll be matured enough to see what shit he stepped on, right? And I've been saying, when Conte joined us, I've been calling Conte to walk, right? I think Ange will be the first manager to walk.
So by the time of 57, when he hits his 60th birthday, let's hope he's still with us.
He just retires from football after.
He retires from football.
No, I think by the time he's 57 and a half, right? Most probably he'll walk. He'll tell Levy.
But then, if that was to ever happen, where do we go from there? Because I don't see no managers coming anywhere close to Tottenham. They're gonna have to make a public announcement. Anybody from the stands want to manage Tottenham?
Oh, with Reims in France, they did the
FM manager, the FM manager,
Andy Carroll joined that club today.
What do you mean join the club?
Reims, the one that the guy manages.
Oh, Reims, actually joined to play.
He signed, he's 36. He signed.
Oh, he's joined Reims. Okay. Yeah, the club with the manager that doesn't have his UEFA B license.
Yeah, they get fined. They get fined 100K each time he manages. Yeah, or so. I think it was something like that. I read it somewhere. But look,
guys, we're at the end of the stream. So, do you want to say anything?
I was just about to say something like, look, we're not signing nobody new. Brennan Johnson is coming in. Let's go, baby.
I know. Brennan Johnson arrived yet? He's still not there yet. Hasn't held up a shirt yet. So
he's going Brighton.
If he goes Brighton, bro, that's PTSD all over again.
Or Chelsea.
But how is Brighton? How's a team like Brighton beating us?
The fact, apparently De Zerbi. I was reading De Zerbi was a huge factor because De Zerbi is quite well respected now.
To tell the truth, right? I don't know. Brighton was willing to pay 80% of his wages, and we weren't. So I guess that's one thing there, right? So
being stingy, basically.
Yeah, that's how it goes, right?
So big up to Jay, Ashraf, Adrian, who always in the chat. Spurs, Edinburgh, Stella T, 2 Buckle, only 1 Flicks. Thanks for coming through, mate. Anyone else I missed? Let's go through. Daryl. And there's one. So I say name wrong. ADAK, and obviously Marlon for coming in the chat as well. And anyone else who's come in the chat, big up, like, subscribe to the channel. And TJ, where can we find you next?
You can find me in your dreams, baby. No. Let me be honest. You can. No. You can find me on Spurs. What's my channel name? I haven't been on it so long. Yeah. You can find me on Spursy Talks, innit? Or has his channel, innit? That's where I'm local, innit?
Or here's as well.
Instagram 0 TEEJAY. That is 0 TEEJAY. Follow me. I'm nearly at 10K. I'm so close. I'm 7 point. Sir? On Insta, yeah. Oh, I'm wow. So close. I'm like 7.8K subscribers.
Oh wow!
So followers. Not subscribers, followers. Wow. So I'm so close in it. So follow me up on that.
Yeah, he's big. You're big on Insta.
On Instagram, I don't do Instagram. Sorry, TJ. I'm an old man.
That's all right, man.
He won't follow you.
It's all right, man. It's all
And
right.
Eugene, obviously you streamed earlier today. Are you
Yeah.
streaming next week at all? Because obviously the transfer window is going to close, and it's gonna be
Transfer
quiet.
window's closed. I will be most probably doing a stream next week. Let's see what day I choose from there.
Mm.
I'll be starting the North London rival show with Mani in the beginning.
Are you doing one with Manny? Oh,
Yeah, I'll do it with Mani, right? And then most probably we'll have some banter there, right?
Yeah.
But usually with Mani we don't banter.
I
Mani
know. I
banters
was going to say he's
himself.
very serious. Not in a bad
Yeah,
way. I'm just saying he's very serious.
He banters himself, so and I'll banter myself. So you see two club. Instead of bantering each other, we banter ourselves.
We're
But
rubbish.
you can just give a subscribe to Spurs Version TV on YouTube, and not to
Mm,
forget, right, the Danny Rose interview.
Drops next week.
Video,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you want to go
Next
see
week,
some
Tuesday.
stuff about Danny Rose, go subscribe to Spurs Racing TV if you haven't already.
Yeah.
And Spursy Talks, and go follow TJ on Insta because he's a big guy on Insta. Yeah. And if you want to find me, it's Hotspur TV and also on here. So Has was meant to do the show tomorrow, but I'm doing the show tomorrow evening. And Justin, I think, will be back. Harry from Scarfy Spurs Talk will be back. And if you guys are free, you can join us as well if you want. So doing a post-match show again tomorrow at 8 o'clock. As for views from the South, tonight at 9:30, Haas and Ash will be on again. Taking you guys through the rest of the transfer window. An hour and a half will probably be left by then, or till midnight, because knowing Tottenham will probably submit a paper for Lloyd Kelly at like 10:59.
And then the printer jams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember Michel Martinho when we didn't sign all the things?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The fax machine breaks down, innit? That's what ends up happening.
You know the stories. Well, you find me on my channel as well. I'll probably have a video at some point about the transfer window out after I let it settle in, because who knows what's going to happen today. And yeah, I'll probably next stream. I don't know when, because of the international break. So maybe on Sunday I'll do one. If you guys are free, maybe we'll do one on Sunday. Probably, yeah, because that's a good day. And yeah, come on, you Spurs. And yeah.
And always
Come on, you Spurs. Levy out, man. Enoch out. Get all of them.